I try to be. I try to be. I try to be. How are you this morning, Maria? I'm good. In the words of, I know Bud Ginger says it all the time, or said it all the time. I know Ron Ginger says it all the time. It's another day in paradise, even though there's a little bit of rain. But it's a great day here in Tillamook as always, and I'm here in the radio station representing the YMCA. And I've got two wonderful guests with me. I've got Kelly Benson, our healthy man. I can't talk this morning. Healthy living director over at the Y. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning.
And I have Michael Kittell. He is actually the YMCA board president, and he's an attorney here in town at Albright Kittell PC. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
So we're going to have quite a big discussion. We've got a lot of material to cover. So we're going to start with Kelly. We've got some activities coming up. We've got some fun things to start off 2018. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with what's going on now, or do you want to start with...
Let's start with January 1st.
January 1st.
Yep.
What's going on January 1st?
8 a.m. at Cape Lookout National Park or State Park. We're going to be having the polar plunge. We'll have bonfires there, hot chocolate, hot cider, coffee, lots of treats. Should be a really good time. Come in and just,
awesome.
Yeah, it's a great way to start the year. We were just talking about it. You might as well get all your fears out of the way and go ahead and make the plunge and have it be a way to start your year.
Right, and we're doing it at 8 a.m. because trying to do it with the best tide available.
Yes.
We want to do it a little later, but there's a king tide coming at 11, so we're unable to jump in at that time.
Right.
But we typically do it at Oceanside. We're moving it to Cape Lookout because of the tide situation, and so we've got a great partnership with the state park. We have a covered pavilion, so the weather won't be an issue. We'll have the campfires. We'll have the s'mores. I said s'mores. We might have s'mores.
I love the idea of s'mores. We'll do
We're
s'mores.
talking about it.
And s'mores.
There we go.
Okay.
We're committed now. It's on the airwaves. It's recorded.
That would be fun with the fires right there, definitely.
But it's a fun event. It's for all ages, and it's FREE. It's free.
Yes.
It's just a community event we like to be a part of. John Lee out at Oceanside has helped us organize it or at Neat Arts has helped us organize it every year, and we're kind of just carrying on that job.
Right. Also, the state park will be waiving the parking fee, the day pass. So
Right.
that's going to be something that we're in partnership with, which we really appreciate. They are also going to be having a hike at noon. So
Right.
that's another event going on.
Yeah,
Way
so
to
you
warm back up.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
you go.
Yeah.
It's the
Go-
blood flowing again.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it'll be a fun time, and last year we had almost 100 people, and so we're hoping to have the same or bigger this year.
Right. And it was a horrible morning. And
Last
the
year it
sky
was.
opened up, and it was
did.
actually beautiful for that moment, which made it even more exciting.
Yeah, for the 30, 45 minutes there was no rain, it was sunshine, there was rainbows
Yeah.
when I was pulling in last year. And then as soon as it was over, it started raining and our tables got hit
Yeah,
by
the tide came
waves,
in.
and it was great, and it's a good time, and it's a great time for the community to come out and to just kick off 2018 with a kick. So, what else we have going on? We have some new programs, or we got some. We're adding 2 programs. We added Strength Train Together, which is a fitness class. You want to talk just a little bit about that, because I know it's a new class. We have been offering it, but
It's great. There's still a lot of people that don't realize that we have it. So basically, it's, in my opinion, it's almost like having your own personal trainer. We change the routine up. You're using weights. You're keeping your cardiovascular up, but you're going to work all body parts. So for each song is about 5 minutes. You work a different body part. So by the end, you've got a total body workout. We do the same routine, so you can increase weights for a couple of months, and then we switch it up with a whole new routine. So it's keeping your body kind of tricked the whole time.
and it's a national partnership. It's a national program that we've partnered with that we're able to offer in our community, and it's great, and it's going over well. We had to bolster our classes. We had to use a different space. I mean, it's packed all the time. So everybody seemed to really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's definitely good. It's an amazing class. We're partnered with MOSA, and so that training is excellent training. It's the people that came up with steps, so their level of expectations are very high as far as the training for it. They do, they make sure that we're staying, making sure that all the people are certified, that the Y is certified to do it. So they even do checkups. So it's really good.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're added another personal trainer at the Y, Rhonda.
Correct.
So we've got outside of Strength Train Together, we've got some we got some personal trainers that are available to start the new year.
Yep.
We're going to be possibly partnering, or we're going to be partnering with Northwest Senior Disability Services, which is another nonprofit in our area. We like to partner as much as we can, and we're going to be offering personal training in home for seniors that are homebound.
Right,
So
which is a huge deal because once we get people to the Y, it's wonderful to see them do their transformation. But for some people, that's too big of a leap even to get to the Y. So.
Right. And there's so much science out there that proves that if you move, that just extends your life. And so that's what we're trying to do. Is the Y is trying to get people moving, no matter how little the movement starts at. Once you get moving, it's scientifically proven that you live longer and your life is better.
Yeah, I think the quality of life, the increase in the quality of life with mobility is huge.
Exactly.
And
Absolutely.
That's a big thing that the Y can offer.
Well, yeah, quite often people, they stop moving because something hurts or they get weak, and it's a downward cycle as opposed to an upward cycle, and it's pretty amazing to watch people change.
And we're also hoping, there is that piece that people get lonely and they just want to, they kind of close up and they're afraid to take that step and to come into something new, which the Y is a great social atmosphere, and we try to make sure that everybody feels like a family, everybody feels welcome, everybody feels like a community. But sometimes that first step in getting in is the hardest part. So that's another piece of this program, is we'll be able to step into people's homes and get them comfortable with one person, and then it's, hey, I can see you at the Y and I'll meet you there, and then that kind of converts them over into
It's a great
step.
bridge to going into actually being able to come into the Y and feel comfortable. And it's true, so many people are just terrified at the thought of coming in, so that's make them feel comfortable moving, know that it's going to be similar movements. So
Yeah. And then the other one exciting thing that we'll mention real quick, and then we'll switch gears a little bit. We got a partnership with Columbia Pacific CCO. So if you have Oregon Health Plan through Columbia Pacific CCO, you might be eligible for a discount on your membership. So if you have, again, OHP, Oregon Health Plan through Columbia Pacific CCO, let us know over at the Y. Call over and just ask for me directly, and we'll get you steered in the right direction. So that's another exciting partnership. A lot of great things are happening. We're going to be getting new equipment in the near future. We're just doing constant upgrades. We've got new roofs on the way, thanks to an awesome donation from Lauren Parks and the Oregon Community Foundation, and just a series of other groups that have donated to improve our building. And we've got a lot of things on the way, and a lot of that wouldn't happen if it weren't for gifts and donations and just the thoughtfulness of our community. And so, Michael, I'm going to bring you in on this conversation a little bit about. You do estate planning, you do all sorts of legal work. You're an attorney here in town, and one thing that you do is estate planning and planned giving. And what does that look like, and how can people get involved in that area in their life?
Well, I think what we'll have here is a very brief, annotated discussion of what is typically a much longer conversation. And usually people think long and hard about what they want to have happen, what kind of legacy they want to leave behind. And that's a conversation that really needs to happen with your family and also with your advisors, whether that's your attorney, your tax or financial advisor. Those are all very important people to that process. So what we'll talk about now is just some general overview of what that process might look like. But, I am an attorney, so I have to give a disclaimer here that this isn't legal advice, right? So every person's situation is different, and I do encourage you, strongly encourage people to go and think long and hard, because, your plan giving, your estate plan is, in my mind, this is the last chance to make a very positive and lasting effect on the world. What kind of legacy do you want to live? And that's a very important question for you to think long and hard about. And to plan for with the proper professionals. So as Kaylan said, I do estate planning, and I also do real estate transactions and disputes and business law. And that's kind of and land use stuff. That's kind of my area. I work at the law firm Albright Kittell here in Tillamook, Oregon, and another attorney at my firm, Chris Kittell, who is also my father, has been doing estate planning for a long time. So we do a lot of estate planning work for our clients, and there are a number of other good attorneys in town that can also help you in this process as well. So there are a number of considerations for people typically when they start thinking of estate planning. I kind of think of the twin goals of estate planning is to reduce tax burden and costs, but also to, most importantly, craft that legacy. And I think Kaylan and I and Kelly here all believe that the Y is potentially is of course a worthy recipient of your consideration,
Right.
as are a number of other charities in this community.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what we really try to, as people, as I talk to people in the community, and yes, the Y would love nothing more than to have your gift, but I really encourage people to find what they're passionate about, find the organization that really speaks to them, and make your donation there. This community is great because of the organizations that are here and because of the individual people that support those organizations. And so I wouldn't want to beg someone, hey, take your donation from the place that you're really passionate about and bring it to the Y if it's not quite a good fit. But we would definitely we survive on donations. We're working on this endowment that the community has already built for us. That's at $1.3 million that we get 5% of each year. And the more that grows, the better off our organization is. So our goal is to get that
perpetuity.
In perpetuity, yes. So our goal is to get that to $5 million. So that spins off 250. Actually, my ultimate goal is to get that to $20 million, because then we can have free membership, free programs, free things for all. But right now our goal is to get it to $5 million. That'll spin off $250,000 in operating funds for the Y. And when you have a facility that is as grand as our facility here in such a small market, you really need that endowment to support you to be able to serve the community that we serve and be able to do the maintenance needs that we need, and to make it that great community cornerstone that it's been. I mean, Michael, you've got a great past with the Y. Do you want us to talk a little bit about how you became involved with the Y and why you're so passionate, and why you're the president of the board?
Why do I love the Y?
Why do you love the Y?
Well, I'm a local kid. I grew up here. Was born in the Adventist Hospital here, and was raised. My parents are Lois Albright and Chris Kittell, also attorneys here in town. And early on, the Y played a very central role in my development as a person and my development as a kid. And often, pretty much daily, I would go to the Y after school. It had such a positive atmosphere, and most of my friendships revolved around playing basketball. I'm not the tallest kid around, but I loved playing basketball, and so we would go to the Y every day. And I know I can say with certainty I would be a different person if it wasn't for the Y. The Y made that big of an impact on my life, and when my now wife Taylor and I started thinking about, well, how can we give back to our community and do it in a way that works for us? We thought number one on our list was the Y, giving back to the Y. So I, in addition to being the board president and a board member for a while, and also a longtime member of the Y, my wife and I climbed all of the 14,000-foot peaks in Colorado to raise money for the Y before law school.
That's incredible.
And there's 55 of them. So we raised around $20,000 for the Y. The Y was the sole recipient of those funds, and just to promote healthy living and to increase the assets of the Y.
That's incredible. You climbed 55 14,000-foot peaks in how many days?
Well, we were aiming for 55, but we did it in 40. I think we did it in 40 just because we're so done with climbing peaks at that point. We're like, just get it done. Let's get it over. So we just, we hurried and we got it done. And she became, I think we're the only couple to have ever done that. And she became the youngest woman to ever climb all of the Colorado peaks in under 55 days.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
You guys are machines. I've hiked with you once, and it just about killed me. So
Yeah, I heard about it. I remember that.
yeah, I'm still recovering. That was like 8 months ago or a year ago, maybe.
Kings
a
Mountain.
year and a half ago.
Yeah, that's how I knew I wanted to marry her.
Aw.
Yeah, that's how I knew.
By my hike or by
No. Well,
Okay.
yeah, no, we're not climbing to 55 peaks. I knew that's my future wife right there.
That's awesome.
But this, I think that this conversation kind of highlights a lot of how important the Y is, and why we're talking through the prism of the Y right now. There are a lot of other charities out there that are worthy of your thoughts and considerations with your estate plan. But hey, like you can make a huge difference to these charities around here, even by a $10,000 or $20,000 death time gift. And that you would talk to an attorney, and you could put it in your will, you could put it in your trust, you could have beneficiary designations through your financial advisor. There are many ways to do this, and these make huge impacts on our local charities. For the Y, whether that's the foundation or the Y itself, and I recommend you talk to Kaylan if you are interested in this, or myself, that those kind of gifts don't really cost you anything, because it happens after you pass away. And and it makes a huge impact to this community. So in my mind, death time gifts, whether that's through your will or your trust, are central to creating a legacy for yourself, but also creating a lasting positive impact on the community and on our community here. So I think I strongly encourage you to consider that. And, it's not just charities, but it's also family relationships. When you think about a legacy, what kind of memory do you want to create? And when you pass away, you have all your assets. And that includes your real property, that includes your bank accounts, that includes all your collections, all that kind of stuff. And what's the best use of those assets after you pass away? And how can you highlight your passions and loves of your life by assigning those assets in particular ways, whether that's you have a good friend, a lifetime friend, or you have a son or a daughter, or an interest like a charitable interest like the Y or another charity here in town. All of this stuff is worthy of your thought and consideration, and with the help of a legal and financial advisor, going through that process and creating a well-crafted estate plan not only reduces the costs, the administrative costs, and also makes it much less likely that there is a trail of dispute or bickering after your death with family members, which is frankly, sadly, a common occurrence. But it also creates really lasting impacts to the community that you're in, and it creates your legacy.
Absolutely. And we have a lot of that already happening in our community, it just speaks volumes to the kind of people that are in Tillamook County. We're going to take a quick break. Today's Tillamook Today is brought to you by Clark's Plumbing. Do you know one of those do-it-yourselves kind of guys? They're always telling you to do it yourself. Well, sometimes that isn't the best solution. Well, you're in luck, whether it's a leaky faucet, a complete bathroom remodel, or maybe replacing that septic system. Do yourself a favor and call Clark's Plumbing. They're professionals and they'll get the job done. Anything, new installations, upgrades, that stopped up drain, you name it, they can do it. So the next time you hear do it yourself, do yourself a favor and call 842-5105. That's 842-5105 for the professionals at Clark's Plumbing. I almost made it through that one without stepping on myself. But this is Kaylan over from the Y, and I'm here at Tillamook today with Kelly Benson, our Healthy Living Director, and Michael Kittell from Kittell PC, Kittell PC, and our board president. Two great individuals in our community. We're just talking a little bit about what the Y has to offer coming up, and then also some planned giving topic that we're talking about with Michael. Michael, we talk about gifts and we talk about estate planning, and a lot of people have the possibly misconception, and I'm asking this kind of off the cuff, but if you don't think you have a lot of assets, is it still a good thing to go through that estate planning process so that your wishes are known, or what does that look like? Well,
absolutely. Even if you don't qualify for Oregon estate tax, which is $1 million per person, and there are, if you are married and you have an estate of over $1 million, there are certainly easy steps we can take to save you up to $100,000 or more in estate tax. But if you have an estate that is much less than that, which is common, there are still great benefits to thinking through this process, talking to your advisors. For example, if you don't have an estate plan, or you have a poorly drafted estate plan, and it needs to be probated, which is fine, and you have court oversight, and that's a good process. But if you don't have what's called a waiver of the bond, then the court's going to generally require that your personal representative, the person in charge of your estate, post a bond. So, that's $1,000, $2,000 right there, and that's probably less than the cost of drafting a estate plan. So we can save you that right off the top, and also have that intelligent, thorough conversation to figure out the nuances of your estate plan to avoid hidden surprises. For example, a lot of people, and there's just so many examples, but a lot of people think by adding their son to their estate, to their bank account, that gives them access so they can care for that person if something goes wrong health-wise. But from a legal perspective, that is generally not a good idea. We can get that same result through an easy power of attorney. But also, that skews your estate plan. Let's say you have a couple kids, and one kid is on your bank account, and that bank account's a large part of your estate. When you die, that kid gets 100% of that account. That's not what people want, but there's nothing we can do to avoid that if you don't go through this process and find out these answers. So it really doesn't matter whether you have a $20 million estate or a estate much smaller than that. There are many, many benefits. This is a low-hanging fruit in the legal world. And importantly, there's a lot of people out there that a lot of interests and charitable groups like the Y that would love for your consideration in that process.
And it takes out the guesswork. You want your wishes to be fulfilled. You want your wishes known before you pass away. And this is just one way of making sure that what you truly want when you pass away happens, is getting that plan in place and making sure.
Kaylan, sadly, I've been in a number of disputes where there's not an estate plan or it's a poorly drafted estate plan. And there's a kid that says, no, mom said this. And then the other kid says, no, mom said that. And what happens is that now we have lawsuits going on with the kids. And this is the exact opposite of what mom wanted to leave, is a bickering family, right? She didn't want that. And so what we have is attorneys are involved. It's the court system's involved. We have $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in legal costs. And you could have avoided that with an estate plan that was much, much, much less expensive. So that's just one of many, many examples of what the benefits of thoroughly thinking through this process and getting the proper advice.
Right, and then not to mention, of course, the tax benefits, which the charitable contribution tax benefits could potentially be disappearing in 2018. So this is kind of aside from planned giving, but if you're thinking about gifts through the end of this year, or potential future gifts, we might want to get some gifts in before the end of this year to really take advantage of whatever tax benefits are currently existing for charitable contributions that could potentially be disappearing as we move forward.
Right. How much time do I got?
We've got a few minutes. So
okay. So what we've been focusing on so far is testamentary giving. That's that's gifts at your death through your will, through your trust, etc. There's whole another area called inter vivos giving, which is lifetime giving. So this is gifts that you can give during your lifetime. And like Kaylan said, right now under the current tax plan, under the current tax code, you can itemize, if you do itemize, you can itemize charitable giving. Next year, if this tax plan passes, the standard deduction doubles, which really reduces the incentive for many people to engage in charitable giving. So if you are, I would recommend that you consider charitable giving in 2017, because you might actually capture a tax benefit that you won't be able to come January 1st.
Right.
So there is some really time pressured concerns for this year, given the tax plan that's proposed. But also there's other ways to give as well. You can always, if you are on that cusp of the Oregon estate tax threshold. So let's say you have an estate of $1.1 million, then we can start engaging in a pattern of lifetime giving to try to get you under that $1 million if that's what you want. And so that would just be making maybe annual gifts to your kids or your family or other charitable interests. Another thing that you can do is, if you have an IRA, then you're over 70 and a half and you're required to take those required minimum distributions. If you don't need that income, you can do what's called a charitable IRA rollover and assign those required minimum distributions to a charity, and that's tax free. So you're not paying tax on those distributions, but you're also satisfying those RMDs, those required minimum distributions. So there's a number of things that you can do now while you're alive, and frankly that might even be the most satisfying, because you get to see the impacts of your gifts. But at the end of the day, the death time gifts are the gifts, testamentary giving, that when you die is a very important part of your estate plan as well.
Right. And both are just so important, also not only to your estate plan, but important to the community, and important to the, as Michael said, leaving that legacy, important to just the existence of our nonprofits in our community, which the Y is a 501c3 nonprofit. So it is completely tax deductible for all your charitable gifts. And right now, whoa, what was that? Beep. That was them cutting me off. Right now we did receive a matching gift for up to $100,000. Right now we've raised $46,000 towards that match. So we're trying to get as many as we can through the end of the year, and that goes towards the foundation. So it goes on to serve the Y in perpetuity. So it'll be a forever lasting gift. So anything that comes in between now and the end of the year, and potentially even a little further into 2018. We will be putting that towards this $100,000 match that we have the opportunity for. So great things are happening all over our community, and just the giving that we're seeing. When you see it around Christmas time, it's amazing because it's just the time that a lot of people think about giving and sharing with others. But we really see it year round here, and I've been here 3 years now, and just the giving that we see and the thoughtfulness and just how much people care about where they live and what they do. It's just kind of amazing. So Tillamook today is brought to you by Tillamook's Country Store. Tillamook is farm country, and nobody serves this farming community better than the Co-op, Tillamook's Country Store. The Co-op is actually 3 stores in one. Looking for work clothes, hickory shirts, work boots, rubber boots, rain gear, gloves, the Co-op has it. You'll find fencing, stock tanks, and everything from PVC to 18-inch culvert pipe in stock at Tillamook's Country Store. And no more hunting for that hard-to-find bolt. You'll find a complete selection, galvanized or stainless, whatever you need in standard or metric. O-rings, boat drain plugs, they've got it all. Tillamook Country Store treats you right. When you stop for fuel, your windows are always washed. They care about their customers. And the kids count too. There's toy tractors, trucks, trailers, and animals for that young farmer in your life. Plus, the Co-op has Purina Foods to help your livestock thrive. Offering quality products since 1936, Tillamook Farmers Co-op is Tillamook's Country Store. All right, so we're wrapping up Tillamook today. Tomorrow, TBCC will be in the house. Senior meals every noon every weekday at the Quanda Community Center in Pacific City, as well as the Tillamook Senior Center at 4th and Stillwell. The cost is $3 for seniors and $6.75 for everyone else. All this week is open skate at Tillaskate. Oh, sweet! I didn't know that. All this week, Tillaskate open 1 to 4 each day. And Thursday at the OSU Extension Office, they are holding a winter or Christmas arrangement class at the 4-H dorm. There are 2 classes. The first starts at 3:30, the second at 6 o'clock. The cost is $12. Pre-registration is required. And then also there is a blood drive at Tillamook United Methodist Church, Wednesday, December 20th. So tomorrow, Wednesday, December 20th, 12 to 6, there is a blood drive. Life is a gift. Give more of it. Donate blood. All right, I am Kaylan from the Y. I appreciate you guys giving me your ears this morning. There's a lot to talk about, and I love my guests for joining me. Kelly Benson, the Healthy Living Director over at the Y. Kelly, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And Michael Kittell from Albright Kittell PC. He's an attorney. He's also the president of the board. Dedicates a lot of time to the Y's with his volunteer time. So, Michael, I appreciate all you do, and the climb that you put in to I mean, you raised $20,000, is that right?
Well, yeah, right around
yeah. $20,000 for the Y by climbing mountains in Colorado.
Well, that was almost 8-10 years ago now.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah. But absolutely, I'm happy to be here and appreciate all the effort you've done as the new CEO. You've really made the Y a pretty special place.
Thanks, man. Tillamook's a special place, and I just love being here. Everybody's just great to me, and I no complaints, and I just love it here. And everybody's great to Emily and our son KJ, and we just feel right at home. So we love you, Tillamook, and like the Gingers say, it's another day in paradise. So enjoy, and Maria, it's all yours.